All right. So we're here with Positive Influence tonight. This is one of my other shows that kind of worked on towards a couple of years ago and couldn't quite get the exact feel of exactly how I wanted this thing to go. Now I've got a great idea of how to do this, and we're starting this off with my first guest tonight on this new version of the show where it's a one-on-one interview. It's not a panel interview. It's a one-on-one. Get to know the person for who they are and for the reasons of why they do what they do. Not necessarily just what they have to offer on things, but to go ahead and find out who they actually are. So the whole point of all this is just to make sure we're not seeing any red eyes on anybody out there because, the whole AI trying to take over everything. We're just going to be careful of that one. We're watching out. So keep your eyes open on this. So my first guest up here tonight, I am very honored to bring him up here. Here is Robert Powers of Deaf Shogun.
What's up? How's it going, Phil? Thanks for having me, man.
Man, I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to getting you on here for quite some time. I know both of us have had some issues on our side, getting, the schedule set up and everything. But you've been my attention from the get-go on this. You've got some amazing stuff that you've been working on.
Oh, thank you.
It's I like to see people who think outside of the box. And, you get a lot of the cookie cutter things that are done and redone, Superman with a different cape and he's named, Power Man or whatever the case, may be, or something like that. One of your main things that you do is the mashups. And I know we're going to discuss this more into this, but wow, some of the things you come up with, I don't have the words for this. I've seen some of the artwork on this and just gone, how do you do this? How do you come up with these?
Thank you. I try to I'd use my brain as like a little blender and I just come up with all the cool parts of one character and all the cool parts of the other. And which ones do I want to showcase? Which parts of each character is most known for that character? Like Superman's cape, like you said, Goku's hair, something like that. Then you mash it together and you get a different looking character,
Absolutely. Now, as we're going through on the initial part of this show right here, I want to kind of show some of your artwork in the background while we're going through, because I'm not the prettiest thing in the world and they want to see something different than me up here the whole time. So as we're going through and I'm asking some questions, I'm just going to be showing some art as well, just to kind of get people familiar, with what you've got to offer on here. And the first thing that I want to show is, of course, whenever you go to Deaf Shogun, first of all, how do you come up with the name Deaf Shogun for your business on this?
I've had a few people ask me that, and really what it comes down to is I've always been someone that's been a little defiant towards authority figures. Even as a kid, I was just always in trouble. It's just something I always wanted to do my own thing. And so the word the deaf in Deaf Shogun stands for defiant, right? Oh. Defiance. And Shogun, I'm a huge fan of samurai and that whole culture and everything like that, and the warrior culture. And I think that's just so incredible. So I put them together, Deaf Shogun, and there you go.
That is awesome. And as we're going through, like I said, we're going to show some of the artwork on here. Absolutely gorgeous stuff that's on here. This is not just your basic things that are out here. And these are things that you put together pretty regularly for quite some time, that you would just think up an idea and all of a sudden it pop up on a post and you're like, okay, here's this mashup, for this week, or this mashup for this week. How often are you putting together these mashups?
I was going hard for a while. I was doing, I think, maybe 2 or 3 a week at one point, and then I burnt myself out. And so I needed to scale back a little bit because I was getting a lot of attention. I was like, oh, let me ride this wave, So I was trying to push out as much content as I could to appease the masses, and that's not how you're supposed to do things. And I learned that the hard way,
Very true, very true. Now,
so
this
particular piece, I scaled it all back. Yeah.
Oh, sorry? Yeah. No, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to kind of reset yourself going, okay, I want to do this much here, but my body says, you got to do this right here. Plus there's all other things, in your life that you have family, you have, other issues, other things that require your attention. And everybody kind of has to learn that lesson as well. This piece right here, I wanted to bring up, this is one of the first things that really got my attention that you had done. The colors are vibrant as all get out on here, but to come up with the Joker stitch, I mean, just a thought of something like that just makes you kind of cringe because how much power can be given to one character? And that right there says that's too much.
That's unstoppable and insane. Like at least the Joker is stoppable,
Yes.
physically. So
Now we did mention, of course, about I mentioned about family being a thing that you got some time that you want to give to and all there. I did want to bring up that whenever I was doing some research on here and going through some of the pictures and everything that I was pulling from this, of course, I was going through your profile and pulling some pictures. I got to say that I'm kind of surprised you don't have that many pictures of your family on there. I could barely find any pictures of your family through there.
well, we've been posting more recently, but when as new parents, like we're being very safe with
Oh no,
posting as
you're
much
good.
stuff as we normally would, as much as I would normally like to. I would post every day, but the internet can be a weird place with
Oh no,
some
no.
weird people. So
I was meaning it facetiously because I was going through there and I was like, this is awesome that you show that much as you do. Like you said, you're being safe, absolutely. But you
yeah,
definitely, it was like for every, two or three pieces of art, there was at least two or three pieces of family, and it was back
right,
and forth
right,
on there. And it was awesome to be able to go through that and see how much, you've got that you pay attention to your family as well as your art. So I got to give
right.
you kudos on that one.
Thanks.
I mean, some of these are absolutely gorgeous. The artwork and everything that's on here is so different. And the style is it's not set. I don't know how to explain it. You've got a very good range in your style. Is there a certain thing that you started out with that kind of got you going on something? Is there a foundation piece that you worked on that you said this looks pretty good this way? I'm gonna try something different.
I'd say my project, my comic project, Penguino's Revenge, kind of set the starting point for my style in terms of comics. And I was like, you know what, this is a good medium because when I started doing comics, the idea of having to draw the same character over and over drove my ADHD brain insane. I would be really bored really quick. But if it's a character that's simple enough to draw, still different enough to capture the eye, then I'd be set and I can draw these images relatively quickly and just keep up, try and work on a good story and everything. And then from there, I started just building on that style and trying to add more detail, learn some new techniques with the program that I use, and yeah, I just started building from there. So sometimes I'll have like more simple shapes and simple colors, and other times I'll go in with crazy detail depending on the piece that I'm working with.
That is awesome. I mean, and it's absolutely gorgeous, art that you got on here. The style, like we've already gone through there. Penguino's Revenge was yours. So you actually created, wrote, and did the art on that, correct?
Yeah, cover to cover.
I mean, that is awesome right there too, because that's taking your medium to a whole nother level because you're not just staying right at an artist level or right at a colorist or anything like that. You actually went and said, I'm going to go ahead and take all these hats and put them on at one time.
I mean, I had no choice. It's not like I had really a budget at the time to do it. So I was like, let me learn these different things and see what I can learn and what I can do. And I just went from there.
That is awesome. Now I know that you have it set up on your screen to go ahead and share your screen as well because you wanted to show off some things while we're going and discussing as well. If you want to go ahead and bring that up whenever you're ready, let me know and I'll go ahead and bring that up on screen too.
Okay. Let's see. So a lot of my projects that I've been working on right now for e-commerce and like selling online has been designing stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stickers, they're a lot of fun to work on. A lot of fun. And because
Wow.
like I can get detailed with it, but I can also get kind of really funky and go really far out there and just push the weirdness factor of it.
Oh,
Stickers, I
absolutely.
feel like there's really no rules when it comes to stickers. You can be as wacky as you want. And
Exactly. Well, I
I
mean, even
figured
with the prints and the book covers and stuff like that, sometimes you can kind of push that as well. But like you said, with the stickers, it just has a different. They've always had that feel of you get a sticker and you can do anything. I mean, Garbage Pail
right.
Kids. Garbage Pail Kids were one of the first ones who came out and said we're going to do anything we want to, and they did, and got a lot of attention on that too.
Yeah. This one blew the Wednesday Careless Bears. Careless Bears is another project of mine for like stickers and possibly doing NFT project in the future at some point. But Yeah, it's basically like the Care Bears, but they're flipped upside down in the sense that they're kind of evil, they're kind of dark, and making characters out of, feature films, movie stars, known other known characters from movies and cartoons and stuff, and making them evil little careless bears is it's a lot of fun.
Wow, that is awesome. I mean, I love the fact that you've got the different, you've got your IP that you run under the whole banner, but you have so many different ideas underneath there as well. And just the careless bears. I mean, that's something that, Care Bears have been done so many times. There's been homages and things like that. But whenever you take something like you're showing right across the screen right now, that is awesome, because that is awesome right there. The Goblin Bear.
Well, this was for Halloween stickers. So I was making a bunch of stickers for Halloween, and just trying to have some fun. This was for my son. He loves cats and witches and pumpkins, so I put it all together.
Now, do you have these that you do like packages or something like that for sale at times on your website or something, or where do you have those?
Yeah. So we have I'll have like separate stickers, or I'll have like sticker packs that'll have like 4 or more images on a page, kind of thing, that people can purchase.
Very nice. Those are awesome. I mean, those are just, and those are very, they appeal to the audience. It's like, I don't know what's going on in the book. I don't know what's going on in the covers and everything, but I want those stickers so bad that I'm going to do what I can to go ahead and make sure I get everything.
Right. And this, like when I sketch, I go real rough with the sketches, so I don't bother putting in too much detail. That's what kind of helps. If I'm hired to work on a comic book, like I go light with my sketching in terms of detail, because I know I'm going to be the one doing the inking and the coloring,
That is awesome. Now, let me ask you, with going back to Penguino's Revenge, while we're going ahead and looking through this and everything, with Penguino's Revenge, you were able to go ahead and put that out there. That was your first one that you had done, that you had written and done everything yourself, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So I got to ask you, what did it feel like whenever the campaign ends, it's funded, you get the money, from Kickstarter on all this and everything, and eventually you get your books and you get to get a book in hand. What does it feel like to have your first, works in your hand finally?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's bonkers. Because it took so long to make. Here it is right here.
Oh, hang on. I gotta give you full screen on this one. Hang on a sec.
Volume 1.
There you go. Nice.
She's thick.
That is not a small book by any means.
No. 214 pages, something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, it's incredible. It's surreal to open up even when I got the proofs, when I got like 3 proofs in, because I had 3 different covers made for it. And I opened it up, and it was just like, I made a video on TikTok about it and everything. I had my son and my wife there, like opening up, like checking it all out. And it was really cool. It was an amazing feeling.
That is awesome. Now, are you looking at moving forward and adding more to this particular character's story, or was that a one-shot?
I have right here on my screen, if you want to bring that back up.
Oh, yes.
This is volume 2 of Penguino's Revenge, and it starts out with him falling from darkness to hell.
Oh, that is awesome.
So he's got to fight his way through hell. Basically, the whole premise of that is to fight his way through hell and to avenge his family again, because another tragic event has occurred, which I don't want to give out too much info. But all the artwork is done for issue 1, volume 2. I think I'm going to go a little shorter on volume 2. I feel like it's going to take way too long to make. But yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to look at it and kind of, think about how long it's going to take in between the campaigns and make sure that you got everybody that's keeping following and everything, and it's not taking too long on there. But I mean, 80 pages, I mean, the one that you got before, the size of it and everything, is a good one to get everybody hooked on there.
Right.
That's your good foundation piece. And then you can move forward and put smaller pieces out there to keep them moving forward.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. But at the same time, I was worried about people expecting, okay, so volume 1 was this many pages, volume 2 should probably be somewhere around the same
Right.
count. But I don't know how that would go, so I'm still debating on how far I should go with it.
I mean, I've had enough of them that as long as they go with, if you go heavy on the first one and you want to go lighter on the next ones, you can do that. Is no problem. But it's the inconsistency. Like whenever you go heavy on the first one, second one's smaller, the third one is bigger than the first one. It's kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore.
Right.
Plus, those of us with OCD, we can't do that.
No.
Oh,
Because eventually you want to come out with a slipcase, put them all nice in a slipcase, and
yes.
have it look legit.
Oh, absolutely. That is gorgeous. And I mean, it's great because I mean, even the cover, you go from the cover, which is absolutely gorgeous. You go into the interiors and it doesn't lack. Like you go into the interiors and it actually even gives it more emphasis to the covers, is what I love about your book and your work on this.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like when I did my own covers for it, I was like, if I can make the covers to be on the same scale as what's in the book, people can expect to see what they're going to get on the inside just by looking on the outside. Right. I remember when being a kid and I first got into comics, I didn't know what was going on. So I'm looking at a book and I'm looking at this crazy detailed cover, like this masterpiece of an artwork. And then you open the book and it's all stick figures and like hand-drawn panels on plywood, or it looked ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It really annoyed the shit out of me. So I just, I had to try and do something to push away from that,
Oh, absolutely. Now, one of the things that I wanted to bring up too is that not only do you have amazing looking stuff that, looks great on paper and it looks good, you do the covers, you do the interior, stuff like that, but you've also got a few other products that you do as well. Case in point, that one right there has got my attention. I've got one right in front of me that is not yours, that I'm looking at it going, that needs to be better. I need that. That is awesome that you came up with the oversized mat on there, because too many people don't realize how much that is necessary in anything that you do. And to have it where it looks good as well as go ahead and do its purpose of protecting things, that is great that you came up with that.
Yeah, thank you. It was one of the ideas my wife comes up with. She comes up with all these amazing marketing ideas, and I'm just like, because I can only think creatively to a certain point. There comes a point where I'm like, I can't do everything, So, she's the back end brains of the operation, and she knows she also has a background in design and illustration and stuff. So she really gives me so much help and advice on some of the things to put up in the store.
So she also came up with this, I imagine, too.
Yeah. She came out. She's like, we should put that on a blanket. I'm like, we got blankets? She's like, yeah. I'm like,
wow.
Okay.
So how many different designs do you have available that you can do either one of these like that?
Any piece that I've done that can be done at a vertical format, mm-hmm. I can put on either a blanket or a desk mat.
Wow, that gives you a lot of versatility. That means,
yeah, because if it's all digital artwork, right? It's all digital paintings. So all I got to do is upscale it and tweak some of the corners a little bit to stretch to where they need to go, and that's really all it takes,
I mean, that is because you go to a lot of websites and stuff like that, and you have the same thing for everybody to choose from. What you're saying is, as long as it's a vertical layout that's on there that you could move over there and put it on there, then you could get that. So some of your favorite artwork that's out there that anybody is watching this, and you see some of his artwork, maybe some of the stuff we've already shown, maybe some other stuff that's on there, and you see something you like, I mean, they just need to reach out to you and say, will this work? And you say yes, and you can do that.
And I've already done that quite a few times in the past already. So people message me through the website and they ask me, I really love this, but it's not on the blanket. Can I get it on the blanket, or can I get it on a desk mat? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So nice. I set it up. Yeah.
That is okay. That is great, because that's two objects that you really don't see a lot of other creators having available, for one thing. And then for you to give that much versatility in it as well, that's just a whole nother power play that you've got available to you now. Now, with the stuff that you've been working on and different things you've been, doing on there and just kind of showing off some things, I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. What is something that you have not worked on as of yet that is in your bucket list that you would love to be able to see and show off at this level? Whether it's the desk mat, the blanket, prints, covers, anything.
As far as like an item to purchase,
As far as any kind of idea that you've come across that you want to do personally of yours.
oh, wallpaper. I'd want to do some custom wallpaper.
Oh, wow.
I think that would be really cool.
That would.
From what I understand, from what I've seen and what my wife has been telling me, um, it can be really expensive to produce. So I don't know. For some reason, I don't understand why it would be so expensive to produce, but apparently it is. So we haven't really pulled the trigger on doing something like that yet, but it's in our crosshairs.
Gotcha. I mean, that does sound interesting, and I can only imagine if you were set up at a con or something like that and had some of that to show off, while you're there, people would just be like, "That's something I never would have thought of." I mean, that's
right,
awesome.
Right. I mean, we already have like pillowcases and stuff like that. So, and I was trying to think of stuff that me and my wife might have been talking about in the past, and the only thing I can think of is the wallpapers. I just think it would be really slick to like have like custom wallpapers, even for like companies, to have their logo or like a phrase in cool writing as a wallpaper or something like that.
Oh,
or like
absolutely.
a intricate pattern kind of thing.
Or if there was, I don't know, say a host that had an online show and instead of using to use a green screen, could actually have some wallpaper back there.
Right, that too. Yeah.
I mean, it does. It sounds awesome to be able to do something totally different on that too. And it's cool to see that you're thinking outside of the box, not only in your work that you're doing and creating, but in the stuff that you're offering out to your fans and everything as well. What are some of the things that you've had commission wise come to you that's just blown your mind that you're like, I can't believe that you asked for that, as awesome as that sounds?
I have a few here. Give me 1 second to just look over a couple. Okay, so I had I'm not really when I was younger, I used to be big into anime. I used to be a big fan of anime. And as I got older, I kind of fell off a little bit because a lot of the characters look the same, even though they can be drastically different, but their faces and everything, it looks very similar. But when a buddy of yours commissions you to draw this guy, Ichigo Vastore form.
Wow.
And this came out so much better than I thought it would, because I'm not really a big fan of anime, so I didn't know who this character was from a hole in the wall. So right. I had to do a bunch of Google searches, do some research to see what he looked like from all the different angles. Made sure I got it right. So this one came out really cool. Something ridiculous. I did some emotes for a for a Twitch streamer who his name is Goon Tato, so he wanted a crazy potato looking character. So that was fun.
That is different, yes.
Carnage as Michael Myers and Carnage.
Oh yes, I saw that one. Yes.
Yeah. Crazy.
Now, has there been anybody that's come up to you that they've asked you to do something and you're just like, there's no way I can make that happen? I mean, you're doing mashups and things for some people. Has there been something that they've come up with a mashup and you're like, I just don't see how that's even possible?
Yes. Yeah. Usually I stay away from characters like Superman and Goku, because they have such a baseline look with the cape and the thing, and if I mash any other character up with, like, say, Superman, the only thing I'm going to do differently on the character that I mash up with him is going to give him a cape and a symbol on his chest. And it's like, it's too easy. Right. You got to give me something else. You got to give me some different pieces of this character to work with, I recently did something like this. This was for
oh yes,
Ninja Turtles as an electrician, carpenter, a welder, and a plumber.
Nice.
and that was for a I think that was for a I forgot what it was called. Damn it. One of my characters that I hate to draw. I
Uh-huh.
hate drawing Darth Vader.
Really?
And whenever I get commissioned to draw Darth Vader, I put an extra amount of money on that price because I hate drawing Darth Vader.
And why is that exactly?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what my mental block with Darth Vader is, but for some reason I can't get the mask to look like. I know this is a mashup of Darth Vader and Deadpool, by the way.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I always keep getting. I'll show you another example. Like it looks cool, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's not my usual level,
Well, I
So
had
I
seen
always,
your other one that you had done, the Darth Vader and Predator, I think was the one.
yeah, I did a Darth Vader Predator as well. That
And
one
that was
came out
actually
okay.
that one
That one
came out
came out.
really well. I mean, and I know we are our own worst critics of the stuff that we do and everything. And I know that's probably the one thing that you've chosen, to pinpoint that you're like, that's it, that's the one thing. I find it funny that you're like, as soon as somebody commissions it, you're like, oh, it's going to cost you more, but I'll do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And I tell them straight up. I tell them, I'm honest with them about it. So it's not like I'm trying to pull anything over on anybody. It's for some reason Darth Vader just it makes my pencil heavier for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Oh, that needs to be one of your new hashtags right there. Hashtag makes my pencil heavier. But that's cool that you're able to not only know exactly which one is your weakest point on there, but you know how to kind of overcome it, in certain ways too, because you could put a little more into it. Like you said, it's going to cost you a little bit more because you're putting more into it and having to put more time, but you just feel like you can't get past that point. So whenever you get to the point you actually show it off to the patron and they're like, yeah, that looks great. And you're in the back of your mind, you're going, really? That looks great.
I'm like, thank God, because I can't make it any better.
No, that is cool. I mean, that you're able to do that. And that's cool that even mentioning earlier about, not with the Goku and not with Superman, that was really cool that you mentioned that because you were flat out saying not enough of a challenge. You're like, it's
Yeah.
too easy. I love whenever you say that because there are so many people that are out there nowadays that are like, just give me something to draw. I don't care what it is. I'll take care of it. And if they commission it, it's the same price commission for everybody around there, unless it's Darth Vader, of course.
Mhm.
And they would get it and be like, he's got a cape. He's got a
I
symbol
mean,
on the chest.
listen, I'm not gonna shy away from a couple of bucks. So if someone wants to hire me to do Superman and Goku together, I'll do it. I'm not saying that I won't do it, but I'm just letting you know that you can come up with something better than that.
There you go. There you go. And just keep in mind, if they ask you, if anybody's going to ask him for Superman and Vader mashup, it's going to cost you extra.
Extra. Yeah.
No, I mean, how do you sit down and come up with all of these mashups? Because this is the tip of the iceberg. Some of the stuff that I've been showing, some of the stuff you've been showing, you have been doing this for quite some time and had so many different versions of this. The only one that I've seen that you've done a lot of, and it's still not, so repetitious that it's out of this world, is Venom Carnage. You've done things with them on different ones.
I love symbiote. I'm a huge symbiote fan. So like anything
Yes.
Venom and Carnage, I'm all about it. As far as like how do I come up with the characters, like I said before in the beginning, it's like I just take the iconic parts of one character and the iconic parts of another character and see if they could mesh well together.
Mm-hmm.
See if I could find something. Let's leave commissions. So for example, the last mashup I did was X-23 and Nightcrawler.
Nice.
So I gave her the Nightcrawler skin, the Nightcrawler outfit, but I kept the base style of X-23 with the claws, the slender body, and the hair.
Wow.
So and I felt like that works well because it makes it look like a different type of Nightcrawler. Because apparently there's like a whole like army of these characters that can do
Right.
what he can do. I don't know too much about him, but from what I understand, it gets pretty deep.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's basically how I designed this character. I took some parts of X23, if I go on Google and I look up X23, she's got whole sorts of different outfits that she wears throughout the comics. There's never like one singular thing other than maybe having her in the yellow Wolverine outfit that she's in from time to time. So
Mhm.
that's why I made the outfit on her here yellow, to give that extra emphasis that
Yes.
it's X23, you know? Because I felt like, because color can really push it either one way or the other depending on which character you're going for in color, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
So because I feel like if I went red on the outfit, it would be too much Nightcrawler,
right.
right? So
Exactly.
it's just about trying to find that balance as I sketch, you know?
And even showing this right here, if someone wasn't really familiar with either of the characters, Nightcrawler or X23, this could be a standalone character. I mean, just looking at it right now, it looks like a character that I would see on the cover of, you know, an indie book that's out there or whatever. So it definitely
Yeah.
has a definite, you know, pulse to it, a feel, a heartbeat to it that it normally wouldn't as a normal mashup. So you really put a lot into this one.
Yeah, it took a little while, especially with the um, perspective and everything, but came out really cool. I was really happy with that. I just did this last night during the live because I hadn't done a Turtles Last Ronin piece yet.
Yes,
So I
that is
felt like I
nice.
had to, especially since they're coming out with a volume 2 already
Yes,
for the Last Ronin.
that is awesome. Now, you know, you've worked with some people on doing some things and done some commissions and things like that. Any bucket list creators that you're just itching to be able to work with and be able to do some kind of cover work or interior work?
Joe Mad, Dale Keown, and J. Scott Campbell.
Well, you barreled those out real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice. That would be, yeah, I could definitely see each one of those being interesting choices for you because you'd really have some fun with that.
But I mean, I don't know how I would be able to work with them other than maybe doing color, maybe doing their inks and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, I just love their pencil work. I've been a huge fan of Pitt since the '90s with Dale Keown,
Yes.
and a huge fan of Battle Chasers with Joe Mad, and I've been following his work ever since. Now he's a video game designer and he does
Yep.
concept art for video games, and I've been loving all that stuff too. I've been collecting all his art books and everything. And J. Scott Campbell, I love the way he draws women. Like
Hmm.
I want to be able to replicate that in my own way because as an artist, you pull different things from other artists that inspire you, and that's how you eventually start to mold and build your own style. And I want to be able to take what I can from J. Scott Campbell and the way he draws females in the way that I can draw, and hopefully the way that I'll be able to draw them in the future.
No, that's awesome. Being able to use them as, you know, reference material to go ahead and make sure that you evolve, you know, in your style and everything that you on there, because you do. Again, I said it earlier that you had so much range on here, and you still do with everything that's on there. I mean, I've shown a couple of the female characters along with some of the other things you got on there, but you really have a distinct style that changes depending upon what it is that you're messing with at the time.
Right. Yeah. It all depends on what it is I have to work with, so I try to not paint myself into a box.
Hmm. Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, something else that I noticed that you had offered is you do things like logo design and stuff like that as well, correct?
Yeah, logo branding, company branding, brochures, all that stuff.
Okay.
For designing using Adobe products like Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. And I do video editing as well for like commercials or ads and things like that to put on the web.
Nice. So, I mean, the only thing you don't do is Windows, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Mac guy. I work on Mac. Only for the design purposes. It's just everything flows better on the Mac.
No, I was meaning like washing Windows because it sounds like you do
Oh yeah,
everything
well that too. Yeah, yeah. Just give me a squeegee. I'll be fine with that. So.
else. Sometimes you need a squeegee for Windows too. Don't get me started on that one.
Oh yeah.
No, but I mean, that's great that you have, you know, so many different things that you're working on, so many different, you know, mediums that you're dealing with and all this. And you're dealing with your own IP, which is Penguino's Revenge. Is there anything else that is in your wheelhouse that maybe you are starting to think about producing that's one of your new IPs that you may be working on?
I've got a couple. I got one that I recently lost. I just realized that I was going through all my files last week and I lost the artwork files for my project called Crunch, and it was for a dirty little cockroach that survived the end of the world, and now he's living in an post-apocalyptic world. But he's this cockroach with these other bugs and other things that may have survived it, and he's just this dirty ground up. He's looking for beer, he's looking for drugs, he's looking for all sorts of just stuff that like he can't die because he's a cockroach. He could survive anything, you know. So I lost the art file, so I'm gonna have to redraw that and redo that, but that's a project I want to do in the future. And I'm also going to be working on my comic book Cataclysm, which is the story of the untold tale of the fifth horseman of the apocalypse. And it's in his little buddy Manic, who's having a bowl of noodles over his shoulder.
All right.
And basically, the whole premise of this story, which is going to be a 3-issue miniseries, is Cataclysm trying to take a vacation from the underworld and inadvertently kickstarting the apocalypse. And now he has to stop the apocalypse and stop the world from ending just so he can get a vacation. So so he's trying to save the world, but not for reasons you would think he'd want to save the world for. You know, he's doing it for his own personal reasons. And I think something like that is fun. And it's a little more darker than Pinguino. Pinguino's cute and fun, but still gory and bloody and full of foul language. This doesn't really have a lot of foul language, but it's still gory and brutal. Pull up a few images here. I have the files already done for issue 1. It's all lettered and formatted and ready to go. I'm just currently working on issue 2 right now. And I was going to put them all together and do back-to-back Kickstarters to see what happens.
Nice. Is there a time frame that we're looking at that we can look, forward to seeing this coming out?
I don't want to put anything in stone, but I'm hoping within the next 2 months. Right now, I'm in the process of packing up all the Pinguino's Revenge Volume 1 orders from the Kickstarter. After I had a bunch of printing delays and issues that are just out of my control, I'm finally able to get everything set up, and I'm starting to pack things up as we speak. So I'll be able to get this giant pallet of books out of my office, and I can't wait.
There you go. Now, I will say one thing that I know for a fact, that you kept the communication open and was very open with everybody on, this delay is happening. This is the update. This is the update. And you were very, very out there, with all of your information. You were very upfront with everybody and not, holding anything back or anything. And I know it had to have been killing you in the process of doing it, just from reading some of them, because it was kind of like you're going, I hate doing this. I hate sending this message, but this is no change. It will be coming. It's just not now.
Yeah. And it broke my heart. It really did, because we were on a roll. Things were getting planned out. I had things scheduled out. I thought I'd crossed my T's, dotted my I's, did everything I was supposed to. Because I'd done so much research before launching the Kickstarter. I wanted to make sure I had everything set up so that it wouldn't look like a schlub out the gate, because I don't know what I'm doing. I've never made a comic book before. And, I've had a lot of friends and help me out along the way and try and fill the gaps in knowledge. And speaking of friends, I do want to say that I did also finish a project that I believe is still running on Kickstarter right now for the Dynamics issue 1, written and created by Phil Russert at Filbo Productions. And it's basically a story of a superhero family, and they have to fight this Hulkopotamus. So I had to sketch, ink, color, and letter cover to cover. The artwork is already done, as you can see. Everything is all set up, and I believe I have a link on my link tree right now for that Kickstarter. So check it out. I think it's live right now. There's only a couple days left, I believe. So
okay, so we will definitely.
I just had to plug that real quick.
Oh no, we're good. We're good. And Linktree is embedded in the feed, so it's very easy to get there. I actually have a banner for it as well, which I would show right now. But we'll show that whenever we get to the end of the thing, and I'm giving you the chance to go ahead and let everybody know where to find you and all of that with Linktree. Something that I wanted to ask you though, with this being your first project, you ran through all of the hurdles of, crowdfunding and all. What's the one thing that you learned that you definitely want to take with you to the next crowdfunding that you think you could do better next time?
Streamline it. I feel like this first Kickstarter that I did, I bit off more than I can chew, in terms of the different options. So I had like 5 or 6 different covers. I had a multitude of stickers, a multitude of different prints, t-shirts, hoodies, shot glasses. Like, I had a lot going on. And the only reason why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to make a big splash and offer a lot of really cool different things to show people how invested I am in this project and how much I think it could really pop off and to blow up into creating more books in the future. And to create a story that people will love and a character that people will love and want to follow as he fights his way through hordes of enemies and trying to discover himself in a way to control his anger and his lust for vengeance, But yeah, I would streamline it. I would streamline the heck out of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always something to run through your campaign, and hindsight's always 20/20. I mean, that's been a saying for I don't know how long, but it's true because you go through it and you go, oh, that's where I could have done something different, or that's where something, slipped that way and went left and I wanted it to go right.
Yeah.
So it's always good to be able to have that vision to be able to go back here and look at it. What is something new that you want to bring to the table possibly for your next campaign?
I haven't even thought that far ahead. I've just been so focused on Penguino's Revenge, issue 1, making sure it gets out as fast as possible. And before I even consider working on pushing out other projects. So like I've done some work on the side for Cataclysm 1 and 2, and I've done a couple of things with Penguino, but as far as like putting things in concrete and making it set, I haven't really done anything yet because I wanted to just focus the majority of my time and energy on Penguino's Revenge and make sure that people are getting what they're paying for,
And that right there, that is the honorable way of doing it. That shows the integrity that you have in the business, because too many people lose focus of that. They're like, okay, everything's in or everything's on the way. I need the dollar signs to keep rolling. I don't need them to slow off anytime soon, and just roll out another project. And before you know it, it's quicksand. You can't get out of it because you got so much going at one time. And so I definitely applaud you for going ahead and thinking that way with this one, and knowing that you got to go ahead and take care of this one first and then move on to your next one and so on and so forth, because you'll get more of a following that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't see myself trying to pour my heart and soul into another project, knowing that this one is still hanging over my head,
Exactly. Now, what is a couple of questions to kind of finish out? We're getting to that point now, but number one, what has been the most challenging project that you've had to work on so far? And I'm not talking about Darth Vader. I'm talking about otherwise. But the most challenging project you've had to work on, that you've had, fun getting through that.
Most challenging project.
We ask the good questions every once in a while around here. We have
I mean, they're all challenging in their own different ways, so it's kind of hard to narrow down one that was a challenge. I mean, yeah, I think that's my answer. I mean, they're all challenging in their own different ways,
And that's a good way to look at it too, because they all have pieces that's different, because you're not only taking one character and having to recreate it. A lot of times with the mashups, you're having to, recreate with not only 2 characters, but actually piece them together where they go fluidly together. That's something to take into consideration that, people don't think. I think a lot of them are out there that are like, okay, homages can be done, fairly easily and stuff like that. Well, to a degree, yes. But then again, you still have to get the feel of what's being homaged along with the feel of what is the true thing, that you want to have up there, the current, whatever's on there.
Right.
And you're able to do that with the fluidity on there as well. So you can look at it and automatically go, I know which characters are in there without looking at the, a paraphrase or anything or a quote that says what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very cool that you're able to do that and put that much passion into it that you can tell that difference.
Yeah, I mean and that kind of knowledge just comes with time and the amount of work that you put into it, you know. So I've been drawing since I was like 6, so I've had a lot of time, you
There
know.
you go. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Now I got to ask you, one of the last questions I'm going to ask before we get into the closing of this is, what is one piece of advice that you would want to give to someone coming into the industry wanting to, do the artistry work and stuff like that? What's the best piece of advice that you'd want to give them?
Don't look at your end goal. Don't look at your end goal. Just focus on the work that's in front of you. And eventually you're going to look back and you're going to see all the work that you've done. Because if you look at the end goal and look at the mountain of work that you're going to have to do to get to the point to where you want to be at, you're never going to get there.
There you go. That's some awesome advice right there, because too many times they look so far ahead to see where they want to be and they forget to take care of what's right in front of them right at the time.
And you'll just end up faltering yourself because you'll think it's an insurmountable amount of work, and then you won't be able
Yes.
to do it. And you start downplaying your abilities, and maybe you're just not good enough. And you just get this whirlwind of, discontent. So just focus on one project at a time and build yourself up as you go.
Absolutely. That is the best way to do it right there. I mean, obviously it's working for you. You've had, quite a few things you've been turning out on this. You've had quite a bit of success on the things you're doing. Are you open for commissions and stuff like that as we speak?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So I'm about to turn this over to you. I'm going to give you full screen on this one, and you go ahead and let them know why they need to go ahead and go over there to the link that's in here for your link tree, and just let them know what all is available and what all they can find over there, and why they need to go over there and start supporting some Def Shogun.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm not really one for sales, but if anybody's interested in commission work, I am currently available. I do everything from comics cover to cover. We're talking about the cover art, talking about the logo design, formatting, everything, the lettering, the drawing, of course. And then, of course, I can create products for you. I've designed products for Disney, Marvel, Pixar, Lucasfilms, and more. So if you're looking for a competent guy that can get the work done for you in a timely manner and professional, I'm your man. That's it.
Very cool. I mean, you've definitely got a lot going for you. I am definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening with the future of you, because you've got a foundation going that you should have quite a bit heading your way with some things. And that
I
was a hell of a
appreciate
sales
that.
pitch there at the end about talking, with Disney and all these different things you worked with and you're able to do, products for. You've been able to touch those things so far and still be doing things that you absolutely love. And that is awesome
Yeah.
that you're able to do that. And more importantly, make the time for your family. I cannot stress enough how much that I have realized just from being on the outside of this, seeing how much family means to you. And that is
Oh, it's
very
so
cool to see
important.
that.
Yeah, it's so important, especially, as an artist and someone that deals with ADHD on a daily basis. It's, I can get lost in my work and I'll lose track of time. I could be in here for hours, hours, hours and feel like it was 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
I come out and my kids are already in bed and I didn't get to say goodnight to them. And I'm like, oh, damn it,
Yep.
but at the same time, you got to find that. You got to find that balance between work and family time, and you got to make family a priority over anything.
Absolutely. That is the best way to look at it. Again, I want to thank you for being guest on here tonight and for the inaugural reopening of Positive Influence. This show is all about positive influence. It's about positivity within the industry, within life, and then influence within the industry itself, which means basically get out there. I've used it several times before. Hashtag power the finger, the correct one if you can. Hit that share button, hit that follow button, hit that like button. Just finger can do so much more than you think it can. And go out here and see what's going on with Robert and with Def Shogun and see what's going to be happening in the future, because you do not want to miss out on this.
Thank you,
And
Phil.
Hey, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close this episode down and hope that y'all come back for more on the next episode. Looking forward to having y'all on here. Looking forward to having more people on here. If you are interested in being a guest, let me know. But if you're interested in commissions, you let that guy over there know. We'll catch y'all later and keep it into y'all.